Some of you in Nigeria who think you are suffering, you're better off than your colleagues that jackpot 5 years ago. A Nigerian that finished with first class now moves to the UK. You know, majority of them where they are working, Kia homes. The type of jobs they get there is less than that of a house girl. Majority of them are Nigerians, PhD, masters. Guess their supervisor who? A boy that refused to go to secondary school, but because he's a citizen of the United Kingdom.
I am totally disappointed by how you chose to weaponize the honest livelihood of thousands of Nigerians abroad. You sat on a national TV, looked into the camera and claimed that those who stayed back home are doing better, while those who have left with their degrees, masters and PhDs are just doing care job and living paycheck to paycheck just to pay bills. To hear you refer to healthcare and support workers with such utter disdain is not just condescending. It is a profound insult to human dignity. Healthcare workers do not just clean up. They manage complex medication schedules. They support vulnerable citizens. They assist those living with severe disabilities. They provide comfort to the elderly in their final years. It is an honest, essential, and highly regulated professional labor. Even worse, you went on to mock these degree holders. You are laughing at the fact that they work under British supervisors who might not even have university degrees. You are literally mocking a country that has successfully built a system where practical skills, competency, and hands-on training are valued over empty pieces of paper. You are mocking a system that provides an on-the-job training and a dignified source of livelihood for its citizens, regardless of their background. Instead of being ashamed that your administration has utterly failed to provide employment for those who do have degrees and has zero plans for the millions who don't, you use it as a talking point to score cheap political points. And while you claim that Nigerians abroad spend all their money on bills, they have access to stable electricity, functioning public transport, security, and a currency that holds its value. The minimum wage in Nigeria is just 70,000 naira. An entry-level doctor or university lecturer with PhD often earns salary that rarely takes them through half of the month. And they must privately fund their own electricity, security, water, and healthcare because the public infrastructure has collapsed. So who is spending 100% of their salary on just basic survival? A house officer today is crying to our faces because his salary has not been paid for 290 whole days. A copper doctor just lost his life because his sick leave was denied for 3 whole weeks. Who allows this in a sane country? Yet without shame, you claim that they are doing better. And he still claimed that free cesarean sections and a few local healthcare initiatives means that Nigeria is offering the same kind of healthcare as the UK's NHS. That must be a delusion. Nigeria contributes to nearly 20% of the global maternal deaths. According to the World Health Organization, a Nigerian woman's lifetime risk of dying during pregnancy or childbirth is 1 in 22. In the UK, it is 1 in 19,000. Announcing free cesarean sections on television is easy. Implementing it in a country where primary healthcare centers lack constant electricity, running water, and basic surgical consumables, and doctors constantly going on strike, demanding for their unpaid wages, is a different story. You mock a country that actually values human life enough to build an entire industry around caring for the vulnerable. People did not leave Nigeria because they hate their home. They left because they were forced by a failed system to choose between their patriotism and their survival. To look at people who swallowed their pride, put down their certificates, and chose to do honest, exhausting, and noble work to feed their families and send billions of dollars in remittances back home. Remittances that literally keep the Nigerian economy afloat, and call them failures is a disgrace. So don't lecture us about who is doing better until you can provide a country where a PhD holder doesn't have to beg just to survive.
Bwala did not address the employment gap in today's Nigeria. Bwala did not address the frustration Nigerian graduates are facing, that if you do not know anybody, to get a job in Nigeria now is like passing an elephant through a needle's eye. Bwala did not address the fact that Nigerian first degree is going extinct. Whether you graduated with first class or second class, upper, lower, whatever, you now have to do a top-up because first degrees are nothing right now in Nigeria. People leave university because there's no employment. They rush in to do their masters. And even with the master, they are still floating. The question here you should be answering, Bwala, is why are Nigerians with good education migrating in the first place? Why are Nigerians not finding employment in their own country? Did Nigerians find employment in their country and they had a reason to leave their country to migrate to another man's country? I was a carer, and as a carer, I bagged 2 masters. I practiced. I worked in HR. I did all sorts. I became a coach. I became a counselor. I practiced and I got certified in mental health. Today, The support work I do as a part-time is because I am attached to the job. I work with the local authority. I have one of the easiest jobs. I have free time. I have the time to do whatever I like. Family, I have the time. Personal, I have the time. Friends, parties, whatever I want to do, I have the time. All these opportunities were given to me because I migrated to the UK as an international student. Now, I'm not here to ask you to drop everything you're doing in Nigeria and run. The opportunities to study, to gain a lot that I got in this country, in the UK, I'm not sure I would have gotten it in Nigeria. Every single job I interviewed for, I made a choice. We interviewed. If I qualified, I was given the job. I did not get any of them because I knew the minister or I came through one politician or another. I got them on merit. And when I got fed up with the kind of job I was doing, I decided to go for something very easy that will allow me have access to family life. If not for the few bad egg companies that are going on with their shenanigans and overworking our people because they gave them COS. Care used to be one of the most respectful paths to a professional career. Do not listen to this unless you do not have a plan or that you established already in Nigeria. You continue doing what you're doing in Nigeria. He used the yardstick of someone that earns 60,000 naira in Nigeria and then someone that earns 2,800 pounds in UK. If you earn 2,800 pounds in the UK and you're not able to save at least 800 pounds every month, then something is wrong. Then you're living way above your means. So what is this innuendo that I listen to? See, watch what you take on social media. If you have good guidance, pursue your future. You see these people I see, their belly and their pocketpreneur is more important to them than anything you're clamoring for.
You see, one characteristic of a liar is that liar will always look for lies to build on top of new lies, to build upon the lies that he have lied before. Daniel Bwala should have known that this generation is smarter than their generation. Daniel Bwala should have known that Nigerians already understand the fact that the APC as an administration today is a lying party. So Nigerians, Daniel Bwala should know that Nigerians already understand the fact that EE is stomach infrastructure. Anywhere where food day, now there they see Daniel Bwala. His mouth can twist at any time and lie just to get food to eat. So he's trying to launder his image. He's trying to correct the things that he has done. After going to international television, or media house, to go and disgrace himself and everything around him. So I can tell you guys, for those people, the smart Nigerians who are listening, for the Nigerians that are not gullible, that there is no case anywhere in London with Al Jazeera. There is no case anywhere. That guy has just lied. Now, I want you guys to know something. We all know that the father of lies or the father of liars is the devil himself. It's Lucifer, it's Satan. I will tell you that Lucifer, they shock anytime he hear Bwala lie. Anytime Daniel Bwala opens his mouth to lie, the devil, the Lucifer himself is very shocked to see the kind of lie that this man lies. Because even the devil don't have that infantry, that gods to lie the kind of lie that Daniel Bwala lies. So it's just coming to launder his image, for those gullible Nigerians that can, align with what he's saying, to just be in a good light. The truth is that Nigerians are taking note of all of you, Daniel Bwala. Nigeria is taking note of all of you that lies. During Buhari time, yes, there are because it's lie is synonymous to APC, right? There were also lies, but at least we know those people that do lie for Buhari, the lie Mohammed them and all of them, few of them. But the lies in Buhari's administration is not as much as the lie in this Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. Everybody in this administration lies just because of stomach infrastructure. Nigerians are smart. Daniel Bwala, we know that this is another way to come and try to put Nigerians on the spot. Go and rest. It's not every podcast, every television station, every radio station, every newspaper you grant to be building lies upon lies.
Let me ask Auntie Murayo, respected icon. Before you get people on your show, one of the things I would like to sit on that chair too one of these days, by the grace of God. One of the things that you must do is to send some of these guys for meta evaluation. It's very important, and it's looking like a lot of things needs to be fixed. We need to check. Mr. George the other day, and now Daniel Bwala. I'm not saying everybody has come on your show, but just to be sure so that we don't continue to entertain retards. This is quite very disturbing mentally. I'm sure that I saw your facial reaction at some point. I know you were also disturbed. However, you know, Bwala, because he wanted to be mischievous, you notice that he was sharing some half truths. I agree that the Bees United Kingdom is quite choking, and a lot of persons have had to pay a large chunk of what they earn in running it. But you see, that ideology you just mentioned now is for people like him that are skillless, people that are not improving. Because I can tell you, a lot of Nigerians who are working in the UK are even working remotely. Some others are patching up with other shifts, not because that they cannot take care of them, but because they have a lot of poor people who are now back home that depends on them. An average Nigerian lives in the UK. If it's about taking care of your basic needs, paying rent, some people even pay more than that. I know people that are paying £1,700 per month, as it were. So it's really not about the bills being paid. It's about the fact that your government has plunged people into multi-dimensional poverty that they can barely survive. And Mariah said something to you that you didn't listen to. They are begging. Everybody begs. I've been making videos here. A lot of these CEOs you see, CEOs, they are all begging. Everybody is begging to survive. Content creators are begging to survive. People are literally begging. Teachers, workers, people that go to work 30 days in a month, they still depend on people that live in the same UK to feeding them or take care of their basic needs. I know a teacher who cannot pay school fees for his children. Education, healthcare, basic care. You're talking about dialysis. So you want them to have disease, have infection before you can come in. When are we going to have healthcare? When are we going to have ambulances? And so I don't get to conversations like this that seem as if we are talking about whether it should jackpot or not. We have passed that era. But you see, this is the highest form of mental health conditioning that somebody wants to do to tell you that you value 60. How much is a house rent? I made videos here to say there is no reason why rent should be 1.52 million. So who earns 60,000? How is he going to pay his rent of 1 million naira, for example, annually? So you see, these are the people Bola Tinubu surround himself with. Dull people. And then you agree that you even lied and said getting a car or a house, you cannot get it for 20 years. That's the cheapest thing to get. That's the cheapest. A student here. And the reason why a lot of people even do some of these jobs that I spoke about, for example, if there is, as noble as these jobs are, you can see somebody diminishing people that are giving value or helping people to stay, whether they are sick or they have any form of deformity, or they have during the afterlife, for example, or elderly people. Look how you are condescending it. But just in case people do that, they do that for a face. He didn't tell you that everybody that works in certain kind of jobs, they do it for a face. Maybe because of visa restrictions or visa limitations, or that the school that they do, they can only do certain things. I don't want to get all of that. That's the lies that they are peddling. That's the lies. Okay, assuming, for example, that somebody after spending all of those money, like in your own analogy, and then the person has 150, 200 pounds left. You also said the person can have an extra shift that they are doing. Assuming they have 1,000 pounds to themselves at the end of the month. How much is that in a year? So how much can a Nigerian who earns... There are Nigerians who work in the banks and they still have to beg to survive. It's unfortunate. These are the people that Bola Tinubu has surrounded himself. This is where I know that the man can never mean well for this country. Because if people like Daniel Bwala is a special advisor, if Bwala is a special advisor, half full, half empty, or doyo. Mehdi Hassan will come for you.
I thought by now Daniel Bwala might have come out to deny his words as he always do. But since he haven't come out, let's analyze his video where he says who is earning 60,000 in Nigeria is better than who jackpot 5 years ago. Only him judge and only him finalize everything. So Daniel Bwala, you said it all. Who is earning 60,000 is still borrowing, according to you. So imagine those uncle you say we borrow from are still earning 60,000. Where will he go? Where will she or he borrow from? And who you say is better than, you say the person is still sending. Let us not compare who send more. No, but they are still sending. But you say it's better than them. Now watch where he's campaigning for Tinubu. Thanks.
That is where President Bola Tinubu comes in.
What is the business of Tinubu while you are comparing those earning 60,000 with those living abroad? What is Tinubu business? Is Tinubu earning 60,000? That is where he is campaigning for Tinubu, and it's not going to work. All this on a format. Thanks.
I watched this video and I shed tears. Honestly, the number one enemy of the Nigerian populace are the politicians. And you know the craziest things? The people, the audience, they were actually nodding their heads. That is to say, in agreement to what this man is saying. Then, how do we have people that have been brainwashed to this level? And you are here in overseas, in UK, working day and night, still sending money to these people. People that are seeing you as a bit lesser or more lesser than them. And you are still here, picking extra shift, struggling your life, still sending money back to the people with this kind of mentality. A man stood in front of them, was saying this to them, and they were actually saying, that's true, that's true, that's true. Then who is foolish? You or them?
Those we should blame are those who sat in front of Daniel Bwala, listened to what Daniel Bwala told them from A to Z. There is nobody who don't know whom Daniel Bwala is. Daniel Bwala has lied to the extent that the international media has already known him to be a liar. So, if you as a Nigerians still have mind to sit in front of Daniel Bwala to receive lie, that means you yourself, you don't really know what you are doing, because you are supposed to be wiser than Daniel Bwala. There is something I want to let every one of you know here that is very, very important. You know that we the youth, we are the problem of ourselves. This is how we are the problem of ourselves. We believe in lies than someone who came to say truth to us. Let me tell everyone something. Daniel Bwala says something that he is a resident of the UK. That is what he said to you. And he also told you that you trying to go to the UK, you are trying to whine yourself, because those people receiving salary or earning in the UK, you that is in this country, you're better than them. That is the second thing that he said. He made you to believe that this nation is very, very good despite everything that is happening. Though a lot of persons believe, because some persons believe lie than truth. But one thing I should let you know about all this that Daniel Bwala has said is this. I expected those of you who were, in the meeting, because I don't know if it was a meeting or a podcast, those of you who were there with him, one of you should have, raised this question to Daniel Bwala, that since those who are in the UK are receiving or earning lesser than those in this country, why would Daniel Bwala took his own children to the UK to base? I have not seen that question, so it made me feel like there is nobody, that is intelligent among those who were with Daniel Bwala receiving lie that day. That thing has made Daniel Bwala to be seeing himself as someone who can confuse you. It is you Daniel Bwala can confuse, not someone like me and the rest of the people. You know that the problem we have as a people is believing things easily. Even as we're talking here, there are some persons who are even against what we are telling them than the lie that is being told to them by Daniel Bwala. I don't want to insult those who were really, with Daniel Bwala when he was telling that lie. But I want to give you a little bit insult so that you correct yourself when something like that is about to happen next time. If you who were there the other day when Daniel Bwala was telling that lie, if you really went to school, you will never sit and listen to Daniel Bwala's lies from A to Z, because you are supposed to know your worth. You are supposed to know the worth of the school you went to. You didn't go to school just because you want to gain, a certificate alone. You went to school because you wanted to work. But Daniel Bwala is there insulting those people who have master, those people who have degree, and those people, who have gone to school. But nobody raised any question or hit him with any strong question. So I am disappointed in every one of you who were present at the podcast. Though I don't really have any much things to say, those of you who have anything to say concerning this Daniel Bwala's lies, everywhere is open. Just drop your own thoughts below. Thank you.